You know, before I get into the meat of this video, there's a few things that I need to say up front that will, of course, serve as the intro to this masterpiece. And of course, you have seen the title. But before we get into all of that, let me explain to y'all what's coming down the pipe in reference to this weekend's Rabbit Hole production. And many of you may have seen the footage of the attempted assault on one Larry Elder. He's running for governor. Him and his entourage is out at a campaign, I guess what was a campaign stop. And a white woman on a bicycle attempts to hit him with an egg. And it wasn't just any white woman. This is a white female who happened to be wearing a gorilla mask. I'm on. Well, yeah, I'm gonna say it because I'm gonna deal with it in more detail in the whole. Y'all know that, but didn't just a few weeks ago, didn't I just do a video where I told y'all about this white liberal and how racist this white liberal was? And what did I tell y'all? I said, if you try to call the white liberal out for his paternalism and his racism, you're not going to be able to lay a glove on him or her. Why? Because they are going to be protected by who? The buffer Negroes. The buffer Negroes are the conclave of savages who protects the white liberal. It's like the guy who protects the vampire during the day. And we know, vampires, they sleep during the day. They can't survive with the sunlight. So during the day, they're in their coffin. But they're very vulnerable. Why? Because if somebody happens to find out where they are and open their coffin, they can kill them while they're sleeping. So the vampire needs a loyal servant to protect him while he slumbers and sleeps, while he's at his most vulnerable state. And oftentimes that person is a human being because they obviously can stand the daylight, but they are very loyal to the vampire. And they will protect him with their own life. And this is what the buffer Negroes are to the white liberal. They are the white liberals' protectors, because if you've seen that footage of that woman after she throws the egg at Larry Elder and she misses him, but then some of Larry Elder's entourage confronts her and get in her face, and immediately who runs up to defend that white woman wearing a gorilla mask? None other than a Negro. None other than a Negro. The buffer Negro. The buffer Negro is so dumb. I keep trying to tell y'all about these black men. Look at the optics. Here you have a white woman who hates Larry Elder. Obviously, she's throwing an egg at him. So her hatred of Larry Elder prompts her to do what? Not only throw an egg at him, but while I'm going to throw an egg at him, I'm going to wear a gorilla mask. Now, if she wanted to conceal her identity, she could have wore a mask. She could have wore hell, she could have wore a Beyonce mask. She would have wore a Richard Nixon mask. No, she chose to wear a gorilla mask to throw an egg at a black man running for governor. And the dumb Negro who comes to her defense is so stupid. He's so dumb. He doesn't think that she thinks of him the same way. Well, brother, what makes you any different from Larry Elder outside of the fact that he's running for governor and you're not, but you're still a black man? You should be offended by that. But he's not offended by it. He comes to her defense. I keep trying to tell y'all in video after video after video, black men are dumb. But let me back off of that because I'm actually giving y'all, I'm actually doing the video, man. Listen, if y'all want that, you know what it is, Second Nature Like Breathing, send me email, I'll send you a link. I'm going to deal with that, and then I'm going to get another piece of Mercedes Moore's dad. And the reason why I'm going to get another chunk of him is because he continues to bump his gums. And every time he talks, more questions arise for me with this whole stalker narrative that they're trying to push. So I put him back under the microscope, and we're going to deal with him the second part of that video. So we're going to deal with Larry Elders, attempted assault, and then we're going to deal with Mercedes Moore's dad, part 2. You know what it is. Second Nature Like Breathing. Send me an email. I'll get you the link. And of course, you've seen the title. And I'm really disturbed. And I know some of y'all are like, yeah, you are. But anyway, I'm really disturbed when I read in the latest interview of Mercedes Moore's dad that I read, I'm reading the comments. And one comment sent me over the edge, so much so that I sent out a tweet. And if many of you who follow me on Twitter, you know the tweet I'm talking about. And the tweet, or the comment in the article that I was reading about Mercedes Moore, he was being interviewed. The brother said, and I'm paraphrasing, I should have actually screenshotted it. I may go back and get it. But the brother said, we got to protect our queens from these white boy stalkers. And when I read that, I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, brother, here's what's amazing me about you black men. And there were other comments like that where they were buying into that stalker narrative. I mean, you got black men leaving comments, yeah, this sounds like a stalker to me. And I'm thinking, man, I said it, they're dumb, but goddamn. I mean, dude, why are y'all acting brand new? Why are you brothers acting as if y'all don't know anything about the internet's oldest profession? And the reason why I know a lot of y'all know about the internet's oldest profession is because some of you Negroes engage in it. So it's mind-boggling to me when I hear y'all acting brand new over this Mercedes Moore piece and buying into the narrative that this dude was indeed a stalker. We're gonna deal with that a little bit later, but first let's give some history, because if you wanna find somebody that you're gonna have to blame for this internet's oldest profession. And again, y'all know this is the politically correct version. I don't have to tell y'all this. Y'all know that this is gonna be straight-laced, it's going to be politically correct, there's going to be proper jargon, we're going to use the proper etiquette and all that here. Once I get this down in the hole, man, this meme is going to change. I have a rabbit hole version of this meme that I'm going to use for, it wouldn't survive here on YouTube. It just, please, it would not even survive. Actually, I think the bottom part of this meme is actually pushing the envelope, but I think I might be all right. But I'm going to tell y'all who it is to bring for this internet's oldest profession that y'all acting so brand new about, that y'all act like y'all don't know it has been going on since the dawn of the internet. And the person that y'all have to blame is none other than y'all's first black president. And I'm not talking about Barack Hussein Obama. He was y'all's second black president. We're talking about the first. Who was the first? The first was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is the reason why you have the internet's oldest profession. And I know y'all wondering, what? Wait, man, you listen, man, you got to explain that. Don't worry, I am. But in order to get it, we got to do some history. So we're going to go back and we're going to do some history. And then we're going to come back to the present day and we're going to deal with Mercedes Moore's dad in his latest interview. So let's deal with this history first. And we all remember, Bill Clinton, his second term. There's rumors, rumblings in Washington that he's messing around with this intern. Bill Clinton comes out because the rumors were getting so, everybody was talking about it, everybody discussing it. So he wanted to come out and get ahead of it. So he made a public statement and said, I don't know that hoe. Shit, I don't know her. No, I don't know her, never seen her. None of that shit. Now, when he did that, Linda Tripp, who was Monica Lewinsky's confidant, they didn't since fell out, but whatever, that's subject for another video. She told Monica Lewinsky, listen, Monica Lewinsky had a blue dress that somebody, this is the politically correct version, man. She had a blue dress that somebody, how can I say this? Somebody released themselves. Let's put it this way. Somebody obviously released themselves in her face. And in the process of releasing themselves in her face, some of it got on her blue dress. And so Linda Tripp tells Monica Lewinsky, listen, don't send that dress to the cleaners. Say that dress. So Monica Lewinsky, I don't know how she saved it or where she saved it. The whole thought of it is kind of weird, but whatever, with the subject for another video. She saves the dress. So when Bill Clinton came out and said, I don't know that hoe, she brought the dress out. I got his DNA. So they go back to Bill Clinton and they tell him, hey, listen, man, this woman got a dress with somebody's somebody's DNA is on this dress, and they about to go test it. So if that could be your DNA, you need to get out ahead of this. So Bill Clinton comes out a second time and say, hey, you know what? Maybe I did fuck the hoe. And as soon as he made that admission, the Republican Party said, you know what, we got him. We're going to impeach him. They had just taken over control of both houses of Congress under the Newt Gingrich revolution that just swept control over government in the hands of the Republican Party. And they had a sitting Democratic president that they were about to impeach. And they actually impeached him. But the second part of the impeachment is the actual removal from office. They didn't have the votes to remove him from office, just like with Trump. Trump got impeached twice, but the Democratic Party didn't have the votes to get him out of office. So since the Republican Party with Bill Clinton, they also didn't have the votes to remove Clinton, they told him, listen, man, you ain't gonna get nothing done, man. We're gonna sit on you. You're gonna be a lame duck president. Now remember, this is the beginning of his second term. So you're gonna sit for 4 years. Every piece of your legislation, we're gonna just sit on it. Bill Clinton said, man, I gotta get something done, man. I can't sit for 4 years and not get anything passed, man. Listen, I tell y'all what I do. Y'all let me get a little bit of my agenda through, and I'll sign into law a piece of legislation that y'all been campaigning on for years. What was the legislation? Welfare reform. The Republican Party said, you know what? You might have a deal. We might be down with that. So Bill Clinton signs into law welfare reform. What was the provisions in the welfare reform that he signed? One is that they told women sitting on welfare, listen, the day of you sitting on welfare, having child after child, getting more money with each child, that day is done. You need to take your black ass to go get a job, or you need to go enroll in school, be it a community college or university. But the days of you just sitting on welfare collecting a check, those days are done. And if you have children, hey, we'll take care of the daycare. And with that, you had an influx of black women and some white women too, but we're talking about black women right now, who did what? And some of them got jobs. The majority of them went back to school. And when they went back to school, what happened? They started to learn how to work a computer. They started to be able to understand how to log on to the internet. A whole new world was opened up to them. Y'all know where I'm going with this. And what happened is, as I told y'all in the video that I did last week, it changed the entire game, man. And what you had taking place in local communities, on street corners and back alleys, in pastors' offices, in the basements of churches, what you had taking place there, all of a sudden now is taking place in the security of her own home. Why? Because she now know how to work a computer. She can log on to the internet. She understands how to work this thing. She understands about a webcam, how to work a webcam. Yeah, this was the origin. This was the beginning of the internet's oldest profession. Y'all have to blame Bill Clinton for this one. That whole internet piece, it outsourced the pimp. He was irrelevant. Why? Because what was the pimp's job? The pimp's job was, for one, to be a protector of the prostitute. So now when she's out there on the street corner and she goes in the back alley with a client, services that client, the client pays her, that pimp don't want her walking around with that money. Somebody can rob her. So she brings the money to him. Oftentimes he's just driving around in his nice car, staying warm. She goes into some flea bag hotel to service a client. He's sitting in a parking lot. He's protecting her, make sure she's all right. He's protecting his investment. But with the advent of the internet, that outsourced that pimp. Why? Because these sisters don't need you for protection. Why? Because I'm doing this in the security of my own home. I'm behind locked doors. Which brings me to, and a great segue to, Mercedes' dad. I told y'all I was going to get him. Now this bubble-headed shine is at it again. And he gives an interview. And he's describing, as we all heard, we know the whole storyline. She was missing, and he hadn't talked to her. They talk all the time, blah, 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 blah. And so he went to check on her. And in this interview that I'm reading, out of his own mouth, this man said, when I got to her apartment, it was locked up tight. That's what he said. He said that. I ain't say that. He said that. And when he said that, that prompted me to put this whole entire stalker piece back under the microscope. And I'm going to deal with it politically correct here, but in the whole, we're going to come straight down the center. That prompted me to, I got some questions for Dad. Now, Dad, if you went to your daughter's condo, which is in the back, and it was locked up tight, according to his own words. So he said, I took the initiative to kick in the door. Stop right there. Stop right there. You mean the door wasn't already kicked in? Because if it's a stalker who found out where she stayed, you would think that the door would be kicked. He should have been saying, listen, I got to her apartment and the door was open. I just pushed it open and walked in. No, he said it was locked up tight. No need for a pimp. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to being locked up tight. It was locked up tight. He said, I kicked in the door. And then we all know the story. He goes and he sees his daughter. He knows that his daughter is deceased. And then he goes upstairs. And my question for you, Dad, is why did you go upstairs? What was you looking for? I can understand if she had a small child and you was going to check and see if she don't have any children. So what prompted you to go upstairs, Dad? And then we still playing around with the $64 million question. How did this dude get in an apartment if it was locked up tight? How did you find him in there? And then what really makes this even more odd, it makes this whole story of a so-called internet stalker suspect, is that the chick stayed in a cul-de-sac. She stayed in a gated community, which has surveillance cameras. So now I'm wondering, okay, who's doing the investigation? Barney Fife and Mayberry and Andy Taylor? I mean, who's doing the investigation? The first thing that those police should want to do is what? Pull the footage from the security cameras. And then we should have images of what? Him walking around the grounds trying to get into her apartment. We don't have none of that. They still baffled about, we don't know how he got in. Well, Dad, you said the apartment was locked up tight, and you said you kicked in the door. But yet he's laying upstairs. How did he get there? Did they build the apartment around him? I mean, is he Santa Claus? Did he just climb down the chimney? Well, he is Santa Claus. We have to deal with that in the hole. But, I mean, Dad, how did he get in this apartment, man? With security cameras, a gated community, you don't have no footage of the dude roaming around. He's from Florida. Where's his car? Well, I mean, where is the rental car? What? I mean, give me a bicycle. Give me a scooter. Give me something that he traveled from, wherever he obviously flew in, or if he rode the bus. He obviously had to get from that station to her apartment. So where's his car? Where's his bicycle? Where's his scooter? Where's his skateboard? Where's his rollerblades? I mean, what, Dad, how did he get in there? And see, the more you begin to look and listen to this father, the more you begin to realize this nigga full of shit. And see, this is the reason why I start off the video with y'all acting brand new, because y'all acting like y'all don't get this. Everything that I just said, we already know the answers to those. Those are all rhetorical questions. We know without a shadow of a doubt. The reason why the police don't have any video footage of this dude driving up, being dropped off, walking around the grounds trying to get into her apartment, the reason why they don't have any of that footage is because somebody, let's say he flew, somebody went to the airport and picked him up. Somebody went to the bus depot and picked him up and drove back to that apartment complex and drove into the garage and shut the door, and that's the only time he got out. That's the reason why you don't have no footage of how he got in that house. Now, I'm playing Columbo, y'all. You listen, he done messed up, man. He got me playing Columbo. I got the cigar. The only thing I'm missing is a raincoat. I'm sitting there piecing this together because I know this dude ain't no stalker, man. That's bullshit. This dude was a client. That's point blank period, man. Y'all got to stop acting brand new about this as if y'all don't know the internet's older profession has been going on for years. Has been going on for years. And y'all running around acting brand new as if, yeah, he sound like a stalker to me. Not to me. Not to me. That dude came to Texas from Florida, and when he got there, that Mercedes went to the airport and picked him up. They went back to her apartment complex, pulled into that garage there, shut the door, and that's when he got out. That's how he got in the house. That's the reason why, Dad, when you go to the house, it was locked up tight. See, because you would think that the police would want to look at the footage, because why? Because what if he had an accomplice? I mean, what if there was somebody else who drove off in his car, locked the house up, drove? So you would want to look at that footage. They don't have none of this. And you know why they don't have none of this? Because it's no conspiracy, man. This dude came there and was picked up because they had a relationship. Everybody knows it. I don't know why y'all acting brand new. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is, man. And I'm being nice. I'm being nice because I don't want the video flagged. But God damn it, when I get down in that hole, man, this father, he's mine. He's mine. I mean, he every time I read an interview of him talking, he raises more questions than he answers. He doesn't answer any questions. What he does is he creates more questions. And eventually they're gonna have to come out and call this what this was. And they're gonna have to admit that yes, they had a relationship, they knew each other, and so this was no strange internet stalker, no, that's not what this was. Y'all acting brand new as if y'all don't know this has been going on ever since Bill Clinton signed that welfare reform and told them women, listen, go to school or go back to school or get you a job. And them women went to these colleges and universities and they came in contact with white men and they learned how to work the internet. They learned how to work a computer, how to log on to the internet. And then their devious mind took over. And with the advent of technology, the smartphone, camera phones, I mean, with this technology, man, they realize, man, this is a way I can make money. I can make money off of this. And I don't have to put myself in danger. That day of getting up on that stripper pole, that day is done. I mean, there's still women that like to do it, but at the end of the day, she really doesn't have to. She really doesn't have to. I mean, she can start off like that, but she can build up her clientele like that and then take it out the strip club, because at the end of the day, I mean, you in the strip club, and I don't know what they charge for lap dance. I never paid for one. I ain't paying no woman to bounce up and down off my lap. Get the hell out of here. I'm too stingy for a strip club. I'm not giving you nothing. If I give you $1, you better watch it because it's going to have a string tied to it. As soon as you walk off, I'm going to pull it right out your G-string. But she can build up her clientele like that. But if she, let's say they charging $25 for a lap dance, the house is taking half of that. House taking half of that. So it's going to take her a while to build that up. And now if she does her own private shit, that whole 25 is hers. She ain't got to pay the house nothing. And this is what it took place with the internet. And then you started having these websites that are geared towards this. And these women can sit there and they can actually work a respectable profession. I'm going to deal with this next week. And y'all still got me, I can't do the mammy. I might put that together. I don't know. But you got a woman who can work a respectable job part-time. And the other time, be a prostitute. Get paid. And the reason why she can do this is because of the internet's oldest profession, man. It's been going. Y'all acting like y'all don't know this. That's what this situation here with this Mercedes, it reeks of that entire situation. Everybody knows it, man. I don't know, y'all pretending because y'all don't want to damage her image. What image she has that y'all don't want to damage, I don't know. But somebody needs to get to that father and tell him, listen, you need to shut your mouth, because the more you talk, you don't answer questions, you just raise more questions. And the more you keep talking, man, the more people are beginning to look at this with a second eye. And they're like, man, there's too much shit that don't make no sense. In the interview that I read, he said his daughter was very careful because he wanted to talk to her about all of her internet followers. And there's some people who's going to follow you because they want to get at you. And he said she was very careful and very aware of her surroundings. Well, Dad, if your daughter is very careful and aware of her surroundings, why would she open the door to a complete stranger? And she's by herself. See, Dad, you raise more questions than you answer. You need to shut up. But it's too late now, buddy, because you've been bumping your gums ever since this situation happened. You should have went off somewhere and mourned. Because the more you keep bumping your gums, the more you begin to look at this and say, you know what, man, we got to call this what this was, man. No, this wasn't no crazy internet stalker. No. No. This was a client. This was a trick. But you know what? I'm I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it there. If you want that Larry Elder, I'm gonna show the clip, and I'm gonna give you my commentary, and then I'm gonna give you the unedited, unscripted version of this here dealing with Mercedes Moore's dad. Y'all know I want another piece of him. You know what it is? Second nature like breathing. If you want it, send me email. I'll get you the link. Because at the end of the day,